You know, I got into songwriting, actually. I always listened to music, but I never thought to try to write songs until I started getting into writing cartoons. I started writing cartoons for the New Yorker when I was working there. Started working there, doing assistant type of things, and I became an assistant to Bob Mankoff, who's the cartoon editor, and I had a deal. It's $1,500 a week. You start to, and I was getting really into country music at that time. Again, not playing it, but listening. And letting that philosophy about life creep in for the first time in my life. I grew up in the suburbs of New York City, Long Island. So, you know, Billy Joel was my Woody Guthrie. I didn't really know anything about country music. I grew up in a family that appreciated the American pop standards, and I never went through a phase of my life where I thought that stuff wasn't cool. But that's what it was. So music wasn't something that was necessarily easy to play. And then when I heard the country blues stuff for the first time, it just made sense because I wanted art to be easy. That's what it's all about. Life's hard enough. So it empowered me to become interested. But I still never thought about writing any songs. But I was making paintings at the time that were somehow trying to embody that spirit. You know. And then the cartooning is like a linguistic version. It's like, it's amazing the process, because the first joke you think of is like, he tells you he's seen it 50,000 times. So you start to begin to challenge, and you start to see as something that will inspire the idea. You know, like whatever it is, like a car backing up into a thing and hitting someone over. The inclination would be, let's make a cartoon about that somehow. But they don't want to see that. They want to see like 20 times in past that idea. So until the point where it becomes a cow at a bar, you know, talking about a truck or something. So, yeah, it's like the same kind of like reduced fractions thinking. And then I read this book by Nicholas Davidoff called In the Country of Country, Journey Through the Roots of American Music, where he chronicles the birth of country music through profiles, from Jimmy Rogers to Irish Dement and everything in between. And sort of said, you know, all the country music writers, they gather on Tuesdays and they go to the publishing companies and they all have their ideas and then you think of 10 new songs a week or whatever and they drop them off and then they all go out for lunch and the waiter or waitress says something and everybody leaves for their notebooks. And it's exactly what the cartoonists do. Every Tuesday they come in with their thing and it's the same exact thing. And I became curious about that idea too. It's the same thing. Let everyone else do the work and you just think of. Then you think about what Furry Lewis said. Furry Lewis is a country blueser from Memphis, and I was reading a book about country blues, and they asked him his songwriting technique, and he said, I just think of things and rhyme them up. Like, what? All right, I want to try that, right? So you have all these rejected cartoon ideas, these already encapsulated one-liner things, and I started doing just that in poems, and then I just thought, well, maybe I'll just learn a few chords and just start playing. But it's that kind of music, kind of thing. Now this is all a segue, because I mentioned hilarity. There were a few chuckles along the way through that very serious introduction to the hilarity, so I feel good about that. But that was just bonus. Well, I was going to talk about some of the cartoons, you know, because what else do I have to say? But recently, so I got back into it recently. I haven't been writing songs ever since the Laser Beams record. I started getting back to the visual side of things, writing songs with pictures, making paintings, getting back into these cartoons. So you want to hear some? That's what I was going to say. One was a dog going into the bedroom, and he's just astounded at what he sees, and the stick falls on the floor, and this pile of spit. There's a naked man in the bed with a poodle. And the dog is a boxer. And the dog is saying, "My wife, my best friend." But you see, I'm going to be very honest with you, I actually thought of that cartoon when I was coming home early from a trip, And my wife and I, we've been married over 10 years. I had no reason to suspect anything, but these things enter your mind, you know? And that, you know, look, that from that thought came, you know, somehow dogs. So, you know, I don't know. Who knows where this goes? I did catch my wife in bed once with a collie, but a poodle? That's really what the joke's about. Who would go to bed with a poodle? So I have a few. There are pictures out there. I don't have a sign that really explains what they are. These are pictures that I draw from magazines, and I started to include some of these cartoons, so you're welcome to look through them. Mild hilarity, but it felt good to just talk. I like talking. Any questions? All right. Okay, I worked this all into the budget, don't worry, all the time budget, I know what's going on. It's important to me to talk to you all, even though I really have nothing really to say. It's fun to track the thought process as it happens live on stage. That's what it's all about. In fact, I have everything to say, but there's just so limited time that what do you really then talk about? It's a one-sided conversation, yeah. I mean, how are you collectively? What is the happiness index here? Seems pretty good. Seems pretty high. All right. And what I was going to play next was capo. In my queso.
I got one right here.
You got a capo?
I want it back.
Capo mean. The English translation is guitar gripper. All right. Get back to Idaho. I want to get back to Colorado. I want to get back to New Mexico. I want to get back. I want to go. I want to go where the desert cools my mind, to the land of the Sinclair side. I want to go where the road never winds. I want to get back there if I ever get the time. I spent 3 nights in a cabin in Lake Marie, Ronan. Left a torn blue sweatshirt in a diner somewhere near Spokane. Let's find our way back to the Venus, honey, if we even can. I drove from Denver straight through to Kansas. And when I got there, my left arm was tan. I want to get back to Idaho. I want to get back to Colorado. I want to get back to New Mexico. I want to get back. I want to go. Want to go where the desert cools my mind, to the land of the Sinclair sign. I want to go where the road never winds. I want to get back there if I ever get the time. I spent 3 nights in a cabin in Lake Marie, Ronan. left a torn blue sweatshirt in the city. Tall pine. Let's find a way back to Bermuda's, honey, if we can. I drove from Denver straight through to Kansas, and when I got there, my left arm was tan. I wanna get back to Idaho. I wanna get back to Colorado. I wanna get back to New Mexico. I wanna get back. I wanna go. I wanna get back. I wanna get back. Oh, 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 oh. I wanna get back. I wanna get back. Gotta get back, gotta get back, gotta get back, gotta get back, gotta get back. If I ever get the time